and it's that day, that joyous day that we've been waiting for so long. I've finally been able to sit down and binge watch the Rooster Teeth, Hasbro and Netflix new TV series of Siege War for Cybertron trilogy. Wow, really glad. I got up at 7:45 this morning, UK time, because Netflix kind of updates itself at 8 o'clock. So I was all hyped. It got to 8 o'clock and Netflix didn't update itself at 8 o'clock. So I was having to restart everything, reboot things in my computer, my TV. And yeah, it got there about 8:15 this morning. It came on live, and I was able to crack on, binge watch it. And guys, straight up, I was not disappointed at all. A few things, we'll go into it. This is going to be a spoiler-free review as well. Really going to steer clear of them. I'll probably do a spoiler review or a spoiler discussion later on down the road, but this will be a spoiler-free review. So, first of all, let's start with what this series is. So obviously this is, like I said, this is from Rooster Teeth, Hasbro and Netflix. It's the start of the War for Cybertron trilogy, and it's 6 episodes long, 24 minutes, around 24 minutes a piece. I saw a lot of people complaining about this. It feels short. Obviously by then we hadn't watched it. For me, this didn't feel short. I think it was paced really well. I think that, you know, there's a beginning, a middle and an end to this. There's a peak at the end and makes you really excited for what's coming next. So for me, as a bit of a toe dipper, I guess, because, you know, this could have gone either way, I really hope this does well. Maybe we'll get a longer season next time, but for me this felt really good, and the length went great. Animation. Let's go into the animation side of things. So Rooster Teeth obviously did the animation with this along with Allspark Studios, which is Hasbro's division of animation now. I think they did a great job on this. At times it looks really good. Other times though, it does tend to look a little bit like a cutscene from a computer game. So I wouldn't say that it's the best quality I've ever seen, but it's certainly the best quality that I've seen in years from the franchise. Personally, for me, I still prefer hand drawing and the actual animation, maybe with a bit of CGI in the background. But overall, I'm more than impressed on it. This was obviously based on the CAD drawings. For me, it's actually really cool. You know, we're always like, I want these things cartoon accurate. Off the bat, this is cartoon accurate. Your figures are already cartoon accurate. It's like your collection has come to life on the screen, and it's really good. However, I would say that one downfall on this is that maybe I don't know if it's the animation or the drawing, or the CAD drawings and the way that they are. It leaves a little, some of the close combat scenes, certainly between two of the main characters, feeling a little bit stiff, and just a little bit like it's not as fluid as it could be. And I don't know if that's because of the CAD drawings or just the animation style. For me, that's just how it was. But I absolutely adore how much they've made you believe that there is a war going on this planet. Nothing is shiny new. I love how battle damaged everybody looks. I know people were like, oh, this looks a bit awful on the toys themselves. It really carries over so well into the show. You really get that feeling that there is a civil war going on, that this is a war-torn planet. And they've been at war for years. Nothing is as it should be. There's all kinds of things going on, and every bot looks like they've been through the wars, whether it's an Autobot or a Decepticon. Absolutely great. So for me, the animation, yeah, it has a couple of lower points, but overall, I would say this is some of the best stuff that we've seen in years. A couple of bad points, though, for me, just on that. Megatron's lips. Megatron's lips, I'm not sure why they went that way. They're a bit big and beefy, but you know, if I'm complaining about one character's lips, that's the only thing I didn't really like. And I just wish, and hopefully this isn't a spoiler for people, I just wish that some of the bots transformed more. And I don't know, maybe this fits into story rather than animation, probably, I don't know. But there's a couple of figures, certainly from the Siege line, that when they transform, I'm like, oh, I wonder how that will go into the season and how that will work. Maybe we'll see it in season 2, but some of the bots that I wish would transform don't transform. So as Transformers, I wish some of them would transform more. Hopefully that's not a spoiler for anybody. Then we will have a look at something that's quite important to me. I'm a huge music fan outside of the realm of Transformers and things like that. Absolutely love and adore music, and you know, for me, Transformers has some of the best opening music to any of the any cartoons ever. You know, you think about the G1, you think about Headmasters, you think about even like Master Force, even like the opening music to Prime and stuff like that was really good, and it stuck in your head. It doesn't have a good theme tune, which is a bit of a shame for me. Not a major quibble, because obviously with it being Netflix, you skip it nearly every time. But yeah, just wish it would have had something a little catchy that when I hear it I go, that's Transformers. It's just easily forgettable. But music-wise, overall, background music I would say is really good. Adds a lot of action to it. Obviously, I think that the score for it itself is pretty good. Voice acting overall is great. They carry really good emotion, and the script is actually pretty good. Starscream, for me, Frank Tadero steals the actual show here. It's a really good take on Starscream. Awesome voice, definitely for me the most memorable. As soon as he opens his voice, his first lines, you're like, boom, that's Starscream. Yeah, really good. Second, probably for me, second best would definitely be Megatron. Jason does a fantastic job here. I really like the way that he plays it. It's not kind of maniacal rah, rah, all the time. There's like an uneasy calmness to his voice, a real darkness, low. I really like it. And you know, Frank Welker does an amazing job as Megatron all the time whenever he plays it. But this is probably my second favorite Megatron voice of all time. Then onto Prime. So Jake Fushi, he does an okay job. In his quieter moments. My one challenge with Jake's voiceover in this is when Prime shows any anger or shouts, it just doesn't land with me. There's something that it lacks a passion, it lacks a drive for me. So overall, it was an okay performance. But when you needed that passion and you needed something to come out, I just felt that the voice acting fell short there for some reason. Other good standout ones would be Wheeljack. If you like a G1 Wheeljack, this is really good. They've done a really good job there. I really like the Elita 1 performance as well. I thought that Elita 1, especially in a lot of the scenes that she has with Prime, was really interesting from a voice character point of view. Only one bad voice acting in this, and it's not the voice actor themselves, I suppose, in this, and that would just be Soundwave. Really not feeling the voice effect that they put on there. I know that Soundwave should sound a little bit like that, but he sounds a little bit like a broken Cylon. So Battlestar Galactica fans, hopefully again that's not a spoiler for anyone, but I'm just saying that for me the Soundwave voice was a little bit just a little bit horrible to listen to. Every time it listened, I was like, that's not very good. I wish you'd talk less. So then we'll take a look at the story. So the story is a dark and bleak. It gives a real feeling that the Autobots are on the back foot. the planet has been at civil war for years. You learn a little bit about backstory, how they got here. You get that feeling that the war has raged on for so many years. It involves old and new concepts smashing together. With some great kind of nostalgia vibes, some real heavy nostalgia vibes in parts, and it's got some new takes on a couple of characters as well. But this is definitely something that's a more adult take. It's definitely somebody for my age, somebody who has grown up on Transformers, and it's a real risk here, I think, for Hasbro to release this. It's very, very dark. It's not. There's no real humor in this. There's no, even when you look at some of the G1s, there's always been that humor character. This doesn't really have a humorous kind of comedy relief within this. So really interesting to see Transformers take this darker, moodier approach. I really like it. I also like the fact that some of the characters that I thought would be more tertiary, certainly from the figures, actually had a much larger role than I thought they were going to. Some great moments of action and emotion as we go through, and like I've already said, the length is good. Real interesting take. Absolutely great. No real low points for me. It left me very, very excited. It kept me intrigued all the way through, and it doesn't really lull at any point. This is why I think the length is actually very, very good. So overall, the story's interesting, some new takes on some old concepts, and really, really good to see. Characters. So the characters for me, most interesting character for me, again, Starscream, one of my favourite characters as we go through it. It's a wind-up merchant as you go through it, just absolutely great. There's a different take on B, which is quite interesting. Jetfire has a really good take in this. I think people will be very pleased with that. Megs, this is something that's a great, Megs and Prime. I don't think Megs is kind of not as maniacal as we've seen him before, and Prime, this is like an early version of Prime, so he's kind of unsure about some of his leadership duties, and although this war has been going on for a long time, you get a feeling that he's still trying to find his way. Also, Impactor is an interesting character, probably one of the characters that I thought that would be more tertiary, but actually has a more primary role, and I really enjoyed everything that he was doing. And probably from one more, like the Shockwave, I like this version of Shockwave. He's very much kind of the mad scientist kind of role in this, and I really, really, really enjoyed that. So that's just some of my standout characters from it. I don't want to give away too much, like I said, but from me, they're just the characters that really stood out to me as the ones I enjoyed the most. So who do I actually think are going to like this? I think this is G1, guys. If you are into G1, I think you're going to love this. If you've been reading the comics, IDW stuff, you like that darker version, that darker vision for the Transformers universe, I think you're going to really, really like this. Who I don't think are going to like this or have issues around this could be the people who are more into the Bayverse. There's not as much Bayverse concepts and things coming through here. This is more for a G1 or an IDW comic type reader, but for me, if you're a Transformers fan, I really think that there's something for everybody within this. I think, guys, you have to leave your ideas and your concepts about what certain things are at the door. This is a new universe. This is a new franchise for Transformers. It's a new way of looking things. So if they change something that you weren't expecting, I guess you just got to roll with it. My hopes for the future here, I really hope there's a tie-in comic with a bit more backstory that leads us to here. So I would really like to see IDW or somebody do something how did this all start? how did they get to here? I'd love to see a tie-in comic. I would love to see anything else that they want to do within this universe. I'm really looking forward to part 2, which we already know is Earthrise. Guys, it's really good. I was nervous when I started watching it, been nervous thinking, oh my god, I hope this is good. It's really, really, really good. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know down in the comments what you think of it. Have you binge watched it this morning? It's now 11:15 UK time. I've binge watched this morning. What are your thoughts? Please, guys, let's try and not put too many spoilers down in the comments here. Let's save that for my spoiler review. Just let me know what you thought of it, guys. If you like what I'm doing around here, give us a like, a share, and a subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. Happy Siege Day, everyone!